Welcome to Consumer Math. We are on lesson 2-4. Today's date is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Let's zoom out here a little bit. Not that far. There we go. Payday loans. Don't ever do them. Ever, ever. If you learn one thing from today, just don't do them. They go by different names, so you have to be careful. Our objective today is to do what, Anna? Yep. All right. Let's pull out my notes from yesterday. Don't fall down. All right. So my first question for everyone, and the question I'm hoping you have as well, is what is a payday loan? In short, it is a loan that is due in full by your next payday. Which is kind of weird to think about that, right? So if you bought a car, you bought something where you have a down payment or something, and you're paying off something month by month. You're paying off like $200 a month, $500 a month. A payday loan is very different. It's not something that you're paying off every month. It's something that's like, hey, you owe us all the way back. So this is super, super similar to a loan shark. How many people, by show of hands, have heard of a loan shark? Really? Do you know what it is? Like, would you be able to explain to the class, or have you just heard of it? Okay, so, and this is something I made the incorrect assumption that we've all heard of a loan shark. So a loan shark is typically affiliated with bad guys, bad dudes, the mafia, I don't know, people that will mess you up if you don't do what they ask for. Whenever you see like a movie from Hollywood where they're like, you owe us money and we have like a baseball bat and these two tough dudes are coming and asking you for the money, is because they got their money from not a bank, not a payday loan, but a loan shark. And if they don't pay their loan, they get killed or they get beaten up until they can pay their loan. That's a loan shark. Pretty hardcore. A payday loan is a legal way to be a loan shark. And instead of beating them up, you can go and complain to the government, hey, they didn't pay us back, and et cetera, et cetera. So in my view, it's a legal version of being a loan shark. We're all okay? We now know what a loan shark is. Okay, so how does a payday loan work? How does a payday loan work? What are the specifics? So who wants to be my person that I get to pick on? Who's going to be the simpleton that got a payday loan? Simpleton, Jose. All right. It's a cooler word than saying you're dumb, right? You're a simpleton. Jose has never learned about payday loans. He never took Mr. Sindel's consumer math class, and he took out a payday loan. Let's say you need to take out, I'm going to make the math easy, so let's make $500. Maybe it's $500 to buy your mom a gift. Typically speaking, for you guys or your friends, if you need to tell them not to do payday loans, it's, I can't make rent. I'm living by myself. I have no friends. My family has abandoned me. There's no person I can ask money from. I'm in a really tough spot. And if I don't pay rent, I'm kicked out on the street and I will be homeless, which is even worse than not having friends. That's a tough spot. So payday loans are marketed as, if you're in a tough spot, come on to us. We'll just give you that money within like 24 hours. So let's go ahead and, is that Mr. Warner's phone? Let's go ahead. So let's say, you guys can all write this down too. We'll use Jose. You're going to be permanently in our notes. Jose needs $500 to pay rent. Otherwise, bad things happen. Eviction, homelessness. My life is over and I'm on the street and I have to do other things now. I might not be able to get to my job. I don't know, bad things. All right, so you need $500 to pay rent. You're in a tough spot. You go to the payday loan and they ask for three things. So the payday loan people, I'm just going to say people, this is really an organization, ask for three things. Notice that none of these things are, what is your credit score? Or are you financially responsible? None of those things like that. The following three things. One, they ask for a current pay stub. Have you been paid in the last month? give us proof that you've been paid. Raise your hand if you have a question. What is a pay stub? I'm assuming most of us know. That is a good assumption for me. Yeah, pay stub. So if you have an official job, they'll either give you some form of electronic confirmation or a paper confirmation saying, we have paid you $1,000 for the month. Here is proof that you got paid. Here's why you got paid. They'll say how many hours you got paid. Typically when your next pay is going to be a bunch of information from that job. Yeah, good question. Any other questions on what pay stub is? Number two, second thing that they'll ask for is when you get paid next. When you get paid next. And typically that might be on your pay stub. So they might not even ask for it. They might just ask, oh, I see you're going to get paid in 2 weeks. And this is sometimes. Sometimes they ask for bank statements. They want to know a bunch of things. If you're thinking from the kind of evil perspective of the payday loaner, they want to know how much money they can milk you for. How dire of a situation can you actually pay them back? Every single time that you're loaning money, you want to know how much money you can actually make back from it. Okay, that's all they want. So what actually happens? They say, here's a check. They make you pull out a check. Let's go ahead and draw a check. Ooh, I have a rectangle tool. I can use that. I'm going to make this rectangle tool black outline, see-through. Actually, I'll make the inside white. So it covers up these dots. Okay. So here's my check. We've all written checks before, so a good little bit of a review, right? We have mainly, who is it to? We say to, and our to is going to be payday people. I can't draw straight lines to save my life. There you go. Payday loan person. Which is a little bit weird to write this, right? Like, wait, I don't have money. Why am I writing you a check? And then you say, okay, you, Jose, wanted $500. So like when you're writing the check, you're actually writing this check right now, right? So payday loan person, you have date and other information. I'm skipping over that. I'm just going to do the essentials. How much money are you going to pay them? You are going to pay them. And this is kind of key. I'll do like a separate category over here. For every, they'll have some simple rule like this. The cool thing about payday loans is they're easy to understand. For every $100 that you borrow, there should be a 1 there. For every $100 that you borrow, you need to pay us another $25. So for every 100, pay us $25. That's simple, right? I know. Okay, well, I can do the math in my head. So I need $500. I'm Jose. So Jose, you're going to need to pay them back. How much more money? What's how many $25 are you going to pay? Well, there's 5 of them, right? There's 5 $100. So 5 times 25 is $125. So he needs to write a check for $625. $625.00. Why? Because if you say what's how many $100 are there in $500? Oh, there's 5 of those $100. So 5 times 25 is 125. So I'll write the math down over here for us. 5 times 25 is equal to 125. So that's kind of like the interest that they're asking for. Hey, pay us $125 more on the next time you get paid, which you'll have. I mean, you're going to get paid probably like a few $1,000s for your next paycheck. You can afford $625. You'll have that money. It'll be okay. And you'll have like signature and stuff. I guess I can just add some things to make it look legit. Let me try Jose. I feel like you would sign your name Jose. I don't know. That's Hayes. I don't know. You signed it Jose. And you have to write out all of your like 625 and 00 over 100. You guys all know how to do this. It has like your account information. It has your what's your other? I should know these numbers. It's your routing number and your ID number. With your check number is in the top right. All those things. Okay, there's our check. So what happens now? Jose, here's $500. They'll give it to you in cash or whatever. There's your $500. Do with it what you will. You can afford rent. Ooh, you're not homeless. But here's what's going to happen. On the next payday, let's go ahead and say it's 2 weeks away. Can we make that assumption everywhere, everyone? Jose, why am I writing? I can type faster than I can write. Jose gets paid in 2 weeks. When your payday comes around, this check will typically automatically be deposited. So check gets, and it's called cashed. Or sometimes you can actually go in there and be like, oh, don't cash that check. Here's like actual physical money. Here's like cash to do it. And then they'll be, oh yeah, and then they'll tear up the check in front of you and take the cash. But either way, you're somehow paying that $625 on your payday, and you will have that money because it's your payday. And they've checked, hey, you will have that money because we've checked your pay stub. You'll be able to pay back the $625. Questions up to this point? All right. That seems okay. And he's done. And then next month he can afford rent. Everything's fine and dandy. The end. That's a payday loan. Why is this bad? That's kind of the next question. Why is this bad? There's so many reasons, and I don't even have them all written down. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with the math, because it's a math class, right? Let's calculate the percent, the APR, which doesn't make really a lot of sense because you're paying this in 2 weeks. Calculating the yearly percentage rate doesn't make sense because you're not going to be paying this back in a year. You're paying it back in 2 weeks. Let's calculate. I'm curious what it is. And we're going to assume it does not compound when it actually does. So let's assume it doesn't compound. Remember, Einstein said compound interest. If you understand it, then you can use it to get money from others. I don't remember what the quote is. Compound interest is super powerful. I think his other quote is the most powerful force in the universe. We're going to assume that doesn't apply when it really does. So what happens here? The math. We're really paying $25 for every $100. So as a percent, we're paying $25 for every $100. That means this is 25%. But how long was that 25%? That was 25% for every 2 weeks. And we need to be very, very careful with our units from here on out. I need to convert weeks to years. So the way that I do that, I need to multiply by a fraction that gets rid of weeks. How many weeks are there in a month? That's actually incorrect, but it's a good guess. Okay, well, it's four and a third actually. It's 4.333 repeating. I think, unless am I totally mistaken? Hold on. There are 52 weeks in a year. This is my side work. You don't have to copy this down. 52 weeks in a year per 1 year. And how many weeks are there in 1 month? So I'd convert from how many years are there? Or there's 1 year per 12 months. So 52 divided by 12, 52 divided by 12. Yeah, 4.3 repeating. It's 4 and a third. Yeah, you learn something to do, right? Everyone knows there's 4 and a third weeks per month now. So maybe there's a different way to convert this. Let's just do it. 4.3 repeating. Or if you want, you can be extra cool and use fractions. Ooh, they're scary, I know, but not 4.1/3, 4 and 1/3. 4 and 1/3 weeks per 1 month. And then how many months in a year? There's 12 months in a year, Mr. Snell. That's easy. 12 months per year. And when we multiply this all out, check what happens with our units. And I'll pause because I know you're still writing. I don't want to go too fast. Let's get rid of money and money. That cancels out. And if you have the same unit on the top and the bottom, they cancel out. I see weeks on the bottom. I see weeks on the top. I see months on the bottom, months on the top. And we have our default units, I'll circle them, is a percent per year, which is the definition of APR. What is your annual percentage rate? So what we've calculated here is our APR, assuming no compounding, is, okay, I have a lot of things to calculate. I mean, these are already used up, so I really need to do what is 25% divided by 2 times 4 and 1/3 times 12. I'm going to use GeoGebra to do this. Desmos, not GeoGebra. GeoGebra is for geometry. All right, GeoGebra, no. Desmos, yes. Here we go. 25%. 25 divided by 2 times, and I should have this over here so you can see it. Update times 4 1/3 over 1. 4. I'll just do 0.333 because I don't know. Oh, I can do a mixed fraction. Here we go. It's going to be 13 thirds, right? So 13 thirds. That's 4 1/3. If you don't trust me, look. 13 thirds is 4.333 feet. Now you guys can all trust me. 13 thirds times 12. You guys are all seeing this, right? 650. That's a percent. The APR is 650%. I'm pausing for dramatic effect because that is a crazy huge amount of percent. But you will argue, don't worry, it doesn't apply for the year. That's where the next problems start arising. Yes, it does. Because once you do your first payday loan, typically, I don't know what the stat is. I think it's something like 2/3 of people, we'll watch last week tonight and they'll tell us, 2/3 of people have to immediately use their next paycheck for another payday loan and another payday loan. They'll get trapped in a cycle for many, many years of being in a payday loan. So this does apply to them, but even worse, this is not compounding. You guys want to actually compound it and see how bad it is? This is a fairy dream. This is what news outlets say, oh, it's like 500%, 400%, 700%. They're not assuming compounding, and we need to actually do that because it does compound. So if you remember, the way that we do compound interest is we first have to convert 25% more into a number. So if I say 25% as a decimal is, anyone help me, 25%. Say again? 1.25, exactly. And I was hoping I would trick someone into saying just 0.25. 0.25 would mean you're going down 75%. 25% more means 0.25 more than 1. So our number is 1.25. Thank you, Jose. I wish that you would have fell into my trap, but you're just too clever. All right. How many times is this going to compound? Well, we have to be careful about that. Normally speaking, you would say, well, you would compound 52 times, right? Because there are 52 weeks. But you're doing this every 2 weeks, assuming you get paid every 2 weeks. And I know a lot of people get paid every 2 weeks. I get paid every month, so maybe I would compound by 12. It really depends on what you want to do. Okay, let's all make a class decision. How many times do you get paid? Do you want to be paid once a month or twice a month? Twice a month, because I think that is more typical. If you do it twice a month, that means I'm doing 52 divided by 2. That's how many weeks if I'm being paid twice a month. Or that's weeks, sorry. So normally I would be compounding just double the number of months then, right? No, I need to do 26. Okay, it's not 24, so I have to be careful about this. So let's think about this. If I have 52 weeks, I have to do my units again. You don't have to write this down. I just want to make sure I'm explaining myself. 52 weeks per 1 year, and we have to calculate the APR, so I'm still doing 1 year. I need to get this down into bi-weekly. So bi-weekly means there's 2 bi-weeks. I can't spell bi-weekly per 1 week. That doesn't make sense. I can't explain it very well, and I'm sorry, but we need to compound this by 26. We need to do 52 divided by 2 to take this to the power of 26. This assumes that we are going to compound every other week, bi-weekly. All right. Are you guys ready for this craziness? Let's get rid of this. 1.25 power of 26. Oh, it's only 330. It's not that bad. Okay. This is equal to 330.87. Okay, so it's actually better, right? This was 650. This is only 330. Who sees it? You're about to be mind blown. This was a number. Remember, a percent means I have to convert this back to the right. As a percent, this is really 125%. So to convert this back to a percent from a number, Move the decimal place 2 to the right. Are you guys ready for this? This is 33,087%. So when you think a credit card has a lot of interest because you're being charged 20%, you're right, 20% is high, but 33,087% is quite a bit higher. Welcome to payday loans. By the way, the US government mandates that the maximum APR that they're allowed to do, seems kind of funny, the maximum they're allowed to do, you definitely want to write this down, is 1,900%. Which is weird, right? The government knows that they could do this if it compounded correctly. So they said, hey, no, you can only go up to 1,900%, which seems way too high still. Well, the next logical question is, well, shouldn't we just make some more legislation? Shouldn't we tell our senators or someone to, hey, can't you just make that max like 100%? It only doubles? That would be the logical question, right? Can't we just do that? And that gets into a very hairy story. And that's kind of where I want to leave off and get some help from John Oliver, because this is a very tangled story and there's basically no good solution, unfortunately, aside from just don't do it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show the video I'm about to watch to the recording so that people can watch it. It's Predatory Lending Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Back in 2014, it's in season 1. The swear words are bleeped out, but I'm gonna stop the recording because you can watch it on your own.